Broadcasting live from the Business RadioX studios in Atlanta, Georgia, it's time for Atlanta Business Radio. Brought to you by OnPay. Built in Atlanta, OnPay is the top-rated payroll and HR software anywhere. Get 1 month free at onpay.com. Now, here's your host.
Lee Cantor here, another episode of GSU ENI Radio, and this is going to be a good one. I really enjoy doing these episodes of GSU ENI Radio because we get to hear from folks that are kind of growing emerging brands, and this is no different than the other ones that we've got to spotlight in the past. Today we have Tremayne Perry with BUZZ Coffee and Winehouse. Welcome, Trey.
Thanks, Lee. How are you?
I am doing well. I'm excited to learn about BUZZ. Tell us a little bit about BUZZ Coffee and Winehouse and how you're serving folks.
Sure. So we are, as the name says, coffee and wine bar in Southwest Atlanta. We are focused on providing quality customer service as well as great products. But our main focus is bringing a little art and culture and providing a sense of community within the residents and neighbors of Southwest Atlanta. So we've been open for a little over 2 years now and survived the pandemic, and hope to continue to serve the residents of Greater Atlanta.
Now, talk about the going from idea to actual location. Was that something that you've always dreamed of? Like, what was the catalyst to get BUZZ off the ground?
So it really was, I'm a resident of the neighborhood where the coffee shop exists. And I was spending a lot of my time and my money in other areas of Atlanta versus in my own home. So I wanted to provide a place that I would want to go to have a good cup of coffee or a glass of wine, that I could walk to from my house and meet my neighbors, meet my friends, versus going, hopping in the car and going out of the neighborhood. So that was really the impetus behind opening the coffee shop and wine bar. Spent some time talking to the Georgia State Small Business Development Center down on campus, and they helped me flesh out my business plan and would talk through options of getting it started, and Georgia State was where I started.
Now, had you ever done something like this before in the past?
No, I've spent my about 20 years in the corporate world as a finance professional. And just decided that, again, this is what I wanted to bring to my neighborhood because it personally is what I wanted as a resident. And so, decided to make a shift in my career.
So now going from working in, kind of a corporate setting to being an entrepreneur and running the show and then being responsible for everything, how was that transition?
It has been eye-opening. My original intention was to just kind of be in the background and hire someone to run the operations, and I quickly learned that no one can take care of the baby like I can take care of the baby. So I ended up spending, kind of putting myself at the forefront of the business, being the line of sight for customers, and that has definitely been a good experience. I enjoy everybody that walks through the door. So I'm definitely grateful that I chose to move from behind the scenes and more into the spotlight.
So now your background was in finance, and now you're serving coffee and wine. Obviously different services and products, but similar, that you're serving people that are, they have an outcome they desire and you're trying to deliver it. Anything that carried over from your previous life into this new life that is helping you?
So mainly, using the skills that I learned and being a finance professional, just managing the books, making sure that, I have accurate accounting policies and up to date and the accounting of the business. So that, that is core to what I need in BUZZ, particularly in the back of the house side. I spent a lot of my time forecasting sales, which I continue to do in this role. So there's definitely some similarities to at least the back of the office type things. Front of the house, I am flexing new muscles, so it's definitely something that I've had to learn and be able to address customer needs and things like that. So it's, using some of the past skills from a back of the house perspective and developing some new skills on the front side.
So now your dream was to be that kind of go-to neighborhood coffee and wine shop. Is that what's happening now after 2 years?
Absolutely. The neighborhood has embraced us. We're in Cascade Heights in Southwest Atlanta. It's my personal Cheers. Everyone knows my name, and I know everyone that walks in the door. So it's definitely coming to fruition, the whole community-driven aspect of BUZZ.
And community is kind of at the forefront, right? You celebrate local artists. This is a kind of that special space for the people in the neighborhood to really hang out and get to know each other and get some work done and, just have a good time.
Absolutely. We've had about 4 art showings since we've opened, and they've all featured local artists, artists that live in the neighborhood or have their studios in the neighborhood. So we definitely try to highlight those individuals. And additionally, I can't tell you how many times that, a customer will come in and then someone else will come in unexpectedly, and it's, their high school classmate or, a former college roommate that just happens to be in the store. So it's definitely this community gathering space, and all of that has come to fruition. So it's definitely rewarding to see that.
Now, how has the Main Street Entrepreneurial Seed Fund helped you kind of keep growing?
So my goal for the program was to increase my marketing and advertising. That's probably the hole in my own skill set that I need to spend more time honing. So the Main Street Entrepreneurial Seed Fund has provided resources, both financial resources as well as educational resources and mentorships to help me develop a marketing plan and go out and interview marketing professionals to help implement that plan to grow the business. The goal is to not only appeal to the neighbors within the neighborhood, but step outside of the immediate radius of the coffee shop and wine bar and draw in customers, draw in competitors' customers into the space to see the unique offerings that we have.
Now, in a business such as yours, where it is, people come physically face to face and get the experience, how do you kind of create those memorable experiences that help people, want to talk about your shop and get some of that word of mouth going where, they're referring friends, and then you have a really good chance to kind of get that market share that you need, especially since you're competing, with some pretty big brands in that space.
Right. I mean, it starts with customer service, making sure I have the right people in place, making sure that we have systems in place to make sure folks are greeted properly at the door, that when they exit, they get a salutation. When you're at the register, you're having a pleasant experience with the baristas, and then providing quality service. And beyond that, we're focused on culture and art and community. So having the various art shows that we have, we do poetry nights, open mics as well. some live performances we've done. Throughout the pandemic, we've done wine tastings, or we've had winemakers zoom in from Argentina or from Lodi, California. So it's creating these unique experiences so that folks will talk about it and will tell their friends and invite them back.
Now, are you finding that that's happening? Like, do you have a way to track, is there some sort of a loyalty program or a way to track some sort of kind of the spread of the brand throughout the neighborhood?
We do have a loyalty program. It tracks the sales volume. So it does not track referrals and whatnot, but we're definitely tracking repeat customers and whether they're and what they're buying. So we're definitely tracking that and trying to entice folks to come back.
Now, any advice for somebody that was in your shoes before you opened Buzz in terms of getting started, like kind of having a dream and maybe working in a more corporate job and then taking the plunge into entrepreneurship?
My biggest piece of advice is talk to any and everyone that is already doing it. So there are several independent coffee shops in Atlanta. I talked to several owners. There are other entrepreneurs out there. I talk to them. Like I mentioned earlier, reaching out to the Small Business Development Center at Georgia State. Plan for any and everything and recognize that you will not plan enough. There are things that will be thrown at you that you just didn't expect. But just having as much information and as many resources available to you, it's going to be extremely helpful in getting your business off the ground.
So now, what's the dream? What happens? In the next year, 2 years, 5 years? Do you have a kind of a vision of where you'd like this to go?
I do. I would consider the neighborhood that I'm in now an underserved neighborhood, and I would like to continue the brand in other underserved communities. So that in my head is down the 85 corridor, but definitely within the next few years, I would like to have a second location and continue building the brand.
And so are you going to kind of do that kind of bootstrapping and kind of earning your way down the road, or are you looking to get some funding, venture capital, and kind of expand aggressively?
It's all of the above. I really want to make sure that the model is scalable before taking the plunge. But definitely all options are on the table right now. So it is looking at investors and others, as well as just trying to grow organically on my own.
So do you think that it's a competitive advantage having your background in finance and accounting?
I think so. It definitely helps from an operational or back office standpoint. I think the forecasting experience that I have is immensely helpful. Being able to make sure that I have enough coffee in stock, that I have enough pastries coming in. Being able to look at the data and analyze the data on a regular basis. I think it does give me a little advantage over some of the other shops that don't have a finance background like I do.
Right. They may be just like, hey, we love coffee, so we'll open a coffee shop.
Right.
Well, congratulations on all the success, Trey. I mean, you're doing really important work, and we appreciate you.
Thanks, Lee. I appreciate the time.
And then if somebody wants to get a hold of you and learn more about Buzz, what's the website?
Sure. It's BUZZ Coffee and Winehouse. The web address is buzzcoffeeandwine.com. And we're also physically located at 2315 Cascade Road in Southwest Atlanta.
Well, thank you again for sharing your story today.
All right. Thanks, Lee.
All right. This is Lee Cantor. We will see you all next time on GSU ENI Radio.
Today's episode of Atlanta Business Radio is brought to you by OnPay. Built in Atlanta, OnPay is the top-rated payroll and HR software anywhere. Get 1 month free at onpay.com.